Okay, Jen, what was the idea of coming here, and what is it you want from town council?
I would really like town council to look at all the information that was collected by the town staff in conjunction with all of the different projects that were recommended from community members to be considered. What happened was unfortunate in that there was no request for proposal, and potential designers and builders did not have the opportunity to submit their art and their designs to be considered. It doesn't seem to me that we followed correct procedure from the very, very beginning of this project. Now we have only 2 applications for consideration and one that's been recommended. And I'm disappointed that the one that is leading the race and is subject to be voted on is 4 pillars and a shed roof. It's not special, it's not beautiful, and I fear that we'll have regrets about agreeing that that structure is the best structure for Fairy Lake.
Do you have any personal interest in this?
As a member of the community, I personally care what's there. I want to hang out with my family there and enjoy wonderful music concerts, and that's what I'm used to. I'm used to a bandshell. I believe that they wanted a bandshell. They didn't want a picnic shelter. They didn't want a pavilion. We wanted a bandshell, and I think we still want a bandshell. So my interest is purely my own. I want to see something that's right for the space.
How do you react to Councillor Huber's suggestion that it's more about the lake than it is about the structure itself, and it's supposed to fit in with nature?
I understand that the Trillium funding, which is, I believe, $60,000, correct me if I'm incorrect, $60,000 is Trillium funding, and that funding was directly dependent on extending the quality and quantity of programming options at Fairy Lake, and specifically at the structure. And I don't see how one of these structures versus the other can provide more programming opportunities than another. Councillor Huber also spoke to the fact that there were many proposals submitted and that there were 5 under consideration. Well, 2 came from community members, one from Dan Marowski and SDSS, one from the Great Lakes Dome Company, and the 3 others that were there for consideration, one of them was putting the Dan Marowski design out for tender instead of having SDSS build it. I don't think that's a different design option, it's just a different construction option. And the other 2 were to not do anything, just to put some money into landscaping and not build a structure. I don't think that's an option. That's not an option to build something. That's just to opt out of doing anything. And the 3rd was a very, very expensive prefab bandshell that was not viable purely based on finances.
You asked the town to delay its decision. Did you get the impression that that was going to happen?
It is hard to read body language, as many of the councillors are reading, I believe, my deputation while I'm speaking. There wasn't a ton of eye contact other than from maybe 3 of the councillors, and so I found it difficult to read how they were going to react. But I did get the impression from 1 or 2 that they'd made up their mind and they weren't willing to consider anything else. And I'm not asking them to change their minds. I'm just asking them to do a little bit more research before they commit to a decision.
And if they go ahead with what they've indicated may be the process, are you taking any further steps?
I think that there will be many people disappointed that we're building such a simplistic structure, and there will be many people disappointed that we're using lumber from BC, and we're using it's a majority of the structure is built of wood. It doesn't have lasting power. It's going to be a maintenance problem. It's going to cost the town more money, which means it costs me more money. It costs the taxpayer more money to maintain the structure. We're making a decision for many factors, and longevity ought to be one of them. And having BC Douglas fir in the extreme weather conditions of southwestern Ontario, specifically in such a humid and cold climate, I just don't think it's going to last.
Thank you. Good stuff.